Black Swans, an opera poem. Martina is going to lead us through the ways diverse cultural and human narratives relate to the Black Swan and how those narratives inform and interact with one another.
I honor the ancestral land upon which we stand. I thank and honor the ancestors who have supported my journey here, those who from all the directions watch my every move as a daughter of the bloodlines. I thank Liz Lee for her gracious invitation and organization of the 2019 Bowl Festival and to participate with this community. And I thank Jürgen Paul, whose generosity has brought us into each other's work. Thank you, Aho. In this talk, I briefly address the process I undertook in developing my new performance work, Black Swans, an opera poem. A work envisioned first and foremost as an international collaboration, community-based and cross-cultural conversation, and an invitation. I will also touch on a few elements informing my theories on poetic perception and my aesthetic processes. The first and most primary of which is a sentient, integrated, deeply knowing, wide-feeling, responsive body. I refer to a suprasensual somatology. A little history of Black Swans, the work. In 2015, following the fourth performance installation of my investigative life project on the Swan at the International Exhibit of Contemporary Art in Italy, an Italian bloke in the audience brought my attention to the fact that Australia is the home of the black swan. It is home and habitat. My investigations of the swan in myth, music, dance, alchemy, psychology, philosophy, film, and poetry pose this question. What insights might swan lore offer that could alter our human behaviors, our ways of living together? For example, how would it impact our approaches to self and communal care, our ways of healing and wellness, and our relations to the physical world in which we live, as well as the psychical and interior worlds by which decisions are made in order to abide in both? In 2015, I turned toward Australia, seeding the ground for Black Swans, an opera poem. In 2018, I had meetups in Perth. In 2019, I returned here to Canberra. A cross-cultural conversation has begun. Along the way, all things Black Swan aligned, including the moment I found myself behind a car with a US plate that read BLKSWN, Black Swan. The universe indeed is a poetic universe. All poetic images come with a history, local and regional, folk and mythic. As a mythopoetic image, the Black Swan comes with a complex tapestry teeming with social historical texts and culture-specific stories. Some tell the swan in elaboration, while others contrast its roles and meanings. Its breadth of meaning, however, is instructive. From the Dreamtime story as told by Noongar elder Dr. Noel Mannup, to the 2nd century Roman poet Juvenal, who wrote, "A rare bird in the lands, very much like a black swan." The black swan, of course, is not rare at all, as we know. Perhaps, however, its qualities are. By October 2018, I'd gathered a creative team who addressed the aforementioned questions. We delved into our own personal and cultural stories. We debated what needed redress and how, what needed telling and how, what needed to be heard and what needed liberation from denial. Each artist's response established the content of the performance. Story, poetry, music, dance, and the art installation of the Cygnus constellation lit above our heads. We reclaimed parts of ourselves and discovered new ground in which to live and breathe and act. Black Swans, an opera poem, became a generative place where concerns of survival, belonging, and the ironies of protection, human and species alike, found voice. The meaning of the word swan, after all, is to sing, to sound. Thus, we tracked and sung how each of us knows loss, how grief finds courage, and how joy paves paths to reconciliation. We celebrated being witness and ways of remembering. We shared a renewed vision of humanitas and spoke with a language that imagines a future. The work, however, is not finished. It has just begun. As an international collaboration, conversation, and invitation, Black Swans is poised to be imagined anew with Australian artists, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal. Only then will the scope of its values as an international community-focused work yield and its vision be fulfilled. The Black Swan finds its belonging to and amongst us. The question is, how do we, each of us, belong to the Black Swan? I conclude with this text from the Black Swan's libretto. We are all Black Swans who rise in the dark and howling times when future is threatened, yours and mine, swallowed whole by hatred's despair, disremembering its name. We are all carriers of her name before we were born, writ in red, white, black, and yellow ink upon each of our souls. And only with hope's greening will future's dreaming light Earth's